Welcome to the Daily Hope and Great Verses. My name is Chuck Butler. Today's great verse is 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 7. Let's take a look. By the way, happy Valentine's Day. Today's verse is a great call to take action verse. An action can turn into a holy habit in your relationships with other people, especially for those of you who have found that significant other in your life for life. In other words, it works really well in the lives of married folks as well as singles. Relationships between any two people work all the better when this is put into practice in each individual's life. In the NIV version, it reads like this: "Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you." Interestingly enough, I've been at a number of services over the last few years where the pastor or leader of the group has asked people to open up their hands wide in front of them, palms up, before God. This can be a great gesture if you're wanting to receive something from God, but also to offer something up to God. It might be an offering of praise, an expression of worship, but also open hands can serve as empty vessels. Our intention today would be to fill them up with all of your present cares and mine, which we could then hand over to Jesus. In fact, I did this for a room full of guys at a rehab ranch where my band ministers once a month. I explained to them the why we should do this, and it's pretty clear in the verse. It says we can do this because he, Jesus, first cared for us, and he still does. Investigating so many different translations and paraphrases of this verse helps us to understand all of the things that we should place in our hands, things troublesome or burdensome, in order to give them to Jesus. Here are some examples of what some of the guys handed over to him in that meeting last Sunday night. And perhaps they're the very things that you and I could hand over to him right now, today. Cares can be synonymous with worries, anxieties, concerns, stresses, apprehensions, tensions, fears of consequences, uncertainties, heartache, and guilt. What a great way to start the day, opening up our hands, palms up, and taking a moment to allow our mind, soul, and spirit to fill our hands with all these distracting and disabling cares that we're willing to admit. When I take action on 1 Peter 5:7 every morning, or any time for that matter, I realize I can be freed from all of these cares because he loved me first. He beat me to it. Taking action is important because it can turn into a holy habit. Any friend or Valentine would love to encounter us morning, noon, or night when we've been made carefree and burdenless, when we're freshly empty-handed. Because we can take action and cast our cares upon him, all the cares we could potentially drag into our next human encounter are gone. Will you open your hands, palms up, with me this morning, or whenever you're listening to this Devo, and let your hands fill with all of your cares, and then release them. Cast them away from you upon him. This can become a holy habit of unburdening oneself of constant cares and making more room for his word, his spirit, his voice, his will, and more room for the most freed up human encounters and gospel conversations with others that you can imagine. This accessible, holy habit has helped keep my Valentine and I in greater sync with one another for just over 51 years. Thank you, Carol. Give it a try starting this Valentine's Day. I hope you're carefree the next time I see you. God bless.